guys, welcome to Getting Outdoors with Mike and Yvonne. As we say in some of our videos, you never know what we're going to be doing. So we had a few antlers around the house, and some of them have been bleached out over time, and we were wanting to darken them up, refinish them, get them back to their original color, and leave them around the house for conversation pieces. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be testing some stain. We've seen a couple videos on YouTube about coffee grounds and some other ways of doing it. The coffee grounds we tried, didn't seem to have any luck with it. So come on over here and I'm going to show you what we're going to be using today to do our horns. Guys, what you want to have and what we're going to use today is we've got some Minwax wood finish. We have seen it done both ways on YouTube, the Early American and the Golden Oak. We're going to try them both today. The color that we're hunting for is the color of these horns here. These are some projects that we've used. And so this is the color we're actually hunting for. This gives you an idea of what we've got to work with. So there's a big difference in the color here. So we're going to see how we get to it. One thing you want to have is some rubber gloves so you don't get it all over your hands. We'll take some rags to apply the finish. You want some string to hang it up. And then when we're done, we'll hit it with some lacquer thinner. When we're done, we'll hit it with some spray lacquer to give it a luster. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a sample, and we're going to go lighter first. We're going to go with the Golden Oak. Let's put some gloves on. And this set of horns probably is the less bleach that we have. That's probably a pretty good color that we're hunting for. So I'm going to do just a little test on this one. I wished I had another set of antlers to do some tests on. But we're going to go on the base of it here. Just give it a little color. All right, what you want to do is stir your stain up real good. All right, we're going to put just a little on this antler and see what that does. I think that's going to be pretty close to the same color that it's got. I think that's going to be the color that we're going to go for. That's pretty close. Let's give the Early American a try. Let's put this off to the side. But I think the Golden Oak is looking pretty good. Now this is going to be a little darker. Quite a bit darker, actually. And obviously it depends on how long you leave this on as well. I'm thinking that might be what we're hunting for. I believe that is the one. I think that's closer. That's about as close as you'll get. So I'm going to make the decision. If my wife is okay with it. She's running the camera now, by the way. I'm going to make the decision that we're not going to go with the Golden Oak. We're actually going to go with the Early American. All right, so let's move some stuff out of the way. And let's proceed to coat this with the Early American stain. If you're doing this as a European mount and you've already got your skull boiled out, make sure that you cover your skull with some tape it down at the base of the horns, and then make sure that you cover the skull with some kind of plastic, because what you don't want to do is you don't want to get this stain down on your skull. And we'll be doing a skull mount shortly, a European mount, and show you how we do it as well. Just want to get a coat on them. We're going to leave them set there in the sun. Okay. Let's take our test one here, and let's see if it's set up long enough on it. Probably don't want to rub it real hard. But I tell you, that looks pretty good. Compare it to our original. That's not bad at all, looking at the base. I think that's a pretty good match. Alrighty, so we're going to continue to coat the rest of these and then dry them off, and then we'll show you all the next step. Make sure we get a really good coat, especially down in the knobby areas of the base. We want to get some dark at that base. And what we may do, if we need some dark highlights, we may get some walnut out and do a little bit of dark down at the base a little bit. Point that we got a couple years ago, muzzleloader hunting, and we just didn't want to mount him. Got a pretty unique rack here for North Carolina. It wasn't bad. We do most of our hunting right here at the house, so we're blessed with that. We don't see a lot of big bucks, but we put meat in the freezer every year. We occasionally get a buck or two. All right, so this set over here has been drying. Okay, try the big boy here. I like how it shows up with the grain of the horns. It really makes it look good. The darkness was already there too. That's a great horn right there. I'm very happy with the way the stain's coming out. So y'all seen the before pictures, and these are the after pictures of what the horns look like. So I think the stain did real good. It took the white horns and give them some color. So we're going to let them dry for a little bit, and then we're going to tie some string on them, and then that way we can spray them with the lacquer, a clear lacquer, and then give them some shine. So we'll be right back. Alrighty, now that we've got our horns pretty much colored all over, what we're after, and I want to show you, I don't know if you can see it, but this is a natural horn. It has a little bit of red tint into it. Even these do as well. If you kind of look at it, it has just a little different color. Of course, each set of horns is going to have its own distinctive look. But what we're going to do is we're going to take some gun stock from Minwax, and we're going to try to recreate some of this orangish red that you see in the sunlight. And we're going to go over this horn. As you see, we've kind of started on it already, and we're going to kind of fade it up to the top. So this is before, and this is after we've put a little bit of red color on it. So so we're going to do that. Just take a little small paintbrush, and we are by far no taxidermist or anything like that. We're just trying to make some of our horns look a little better. as like everybody else, we kind of go by the process of what works and what don't. So sometimes what we do works, sometimes it don't. But this seems to be working fairly good. If you get some of your own ideas that you've done to color some of your bleached horns, post it back on our YouTube channel. We'd be glad to share it with everybody. That way we can all learn together. Let's wipe that off a little bit. These horns have taken about as much stain as it's going to take. You can see we have a little bit of red still left, kind of, and then that's the way we will clear it up. It isn't quite totally like that, but as you can see, it kind of gained it from the before pictures and the after pictures. This is the one we're trying to match. So that gives it a good little red tint at the bottom, and let me show you the difference. Here's a horn that we haven't done any tint to at all at the bottom. So we're going to do these and then see what they look like. So there's kind of the finished result with just a little bit of red tint to them. So we'll let these dry a minute, and then we'll start hanging them up on the string, and then we'll put some clear lacquer on them. Alright guys, now if you'll notice, the last step that we're going to do, there's a lot of darker spots down inside of these horns, and we want to try to recreate some of that. And like I said, it's hard to create nature again, but let's see if we can add a little character to it. What we've got is we've got some provincial. The walnut stain might be better, but I don't have any walnut here at the house. But so we're going to take this provincial. It is a brown, where a lot of this thing that I've been using is a red base. We're actually going to go around the base of the horns, and we're going to create some dark areas in the veins, and then we'll bring it up just a little bit, but especially down at the bottom and the base, to get some of this black flowing a little bit. And then as you get it in there, it'll actually run down. It'll run down the vein of the horn itself. You don't want to cover the whole thing, but you just want to create some areas where dirt may have gotten stuck, or where they didn't actually get to rub that part of the horn off.
Alrighty.
Alrighty guys, so we're going to spray them with some lacquer, some clear, and then after we spray them and let them dry, then we're going to hit them with a little bit of steel wool to kind of knock the finish down a little bit. And I'm hoping the Alrighty guys, so here's what the horns look like after we have lacquered them. Now what we want to do is we want to take steel wool and go over them, and it'll buff them, and it'll take some of the shine down, and it'll actually bring them down to something similar to this, so that way it's not as shiny. One thing I don't know, and I haven't figured out yet, maybe we'll do them next time, is how to get more of a wider tip on these horns. I haven't discovered how to do that yet, so we'll maybe figure that out next time we do some. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take a set of the horns and I'm just going to rub them with steel wool. And this will take some of the shine away, and it'll make them look more natural. And then I'll show you the difference in between the two on the matched pair. And this is double alt steel wool. So this is the difference in the two horns. One has been rubbed and one hasn't. And you can see the one on the right is a little shinier than the one on the left. So we'll sit down and rub them all out and then we'll be back. Alrighty guys, we're back after using the steel wool on the horns that we colored up today. To give you an idea what they look like. Look a whole lot better, I think, than they did. Here's the 6-point. You can see some of the colors that we put in the bottom and the base that was not there before. And we'll show pictures on the before and the after in the video. And remember, these horns were almost bleached white before. They weren't natural colored hardly at all. This set is probably most profound as far as the dark colors and all of this stuff was natural. It was already there, but the tips on them and the main beams were actually almost totally white. So so that's how you do it. Stay tuned next time for some things that we may be getting into. We want to do a European mount where we do the whole skull and boil it out and show you how to whiten it with some peroxide. So stay tuned, subscribe to our channel. Hope you enjoy the adventures that we go on. We want to share them with you.